Thank you so much, Igarata. And of course, a warm good morning to you all. It's April 8th, 2025, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the continuation of your current affairs program, TMI, coming to you live from our Lagos Network studios on the ITV network. I am Joshua Okata, and of course, I'm being joined by my co-anchor, Charity. Good morning, Charity.
Good morning, Joshua. And good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to the Lagos studio of ITV.
All right. The state of the nation is our focus today on the show this morning, and of course, with a special bias to assessing security situations ahead of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2-year anniversary in office. What has been the situation thus far? Improved, worsened, or remained the same? Well, I will be joined by our guest in the person of Mr. Saeed Ajadi. He is a politician who will be giving us perspective to this issue. Good morning, Mr. Ajadi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, now let's delve into the crux of the matter. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would be 2 years in office come May 29. What's your honest assessment when it comes to the situation of security in Nigeria at large?
Thank you once more. Good morning, Nigerians. First of all, we have to thank God for His mercies for Nigeria to be won today under His umbrella, because if you have to look at today, we have to look at yesterday. The synopsis of where we are today is that we can say for a fact that the security is better compared to the previous administration. We had flags being flown and hoisted in some local governments up north before, and we had brazen bandits and Boko Haram sects, Lakwarua and all of that, challenging states before. But now we've seen that a lot of them have been neutralized, and people like Bello Toji are on the recess trying to regroup themselves and come back again and make a statement with the last stint that he did last week. And I believe strongly that we can get rid of these elements if we continue at this trajectory. Unfortunately, the Chief of Army Staff that passed was at the forefront of the you can call it internal war, and the new Chief of Army Staff now is proven to be up to the task, and also on ground to give the security a boost by being at the stage of the kinetic force. So I believe that with a lot of budgetary allocation, with a lot of emotions, a lot of psychological support and equipment, we will take down all these elements. And the fact that also the American Congress made a statement that they are part of the problem of Nigeria. So we are having solutions to our problems, knowing that you said is not just an organization, it's an organization we can call an underground network working for the insurgents. And I think that a lot of secrets has been revealed when you look at some NGOs as well that work with these people in the camps. Most of them, they invest in buying farm yields, harvests, warehousing them and getting them spoiled so that it doesn't get into the system. That is part of why there's increase in prices of goods and services, because they warehouse these things. Some warehouses were busted in Kano, Katsina, like that, seeing all these things being wasted. And it's this foreign money that is used to buy all these things from NGOs. So we need to also check whoever is called an NGO now and the basis of where they are here in Nigeria. So there's so much influence by the foreigners to, for me, destabilize Nigeria. And the government has been able to see that now, and I'm sure that by the next count, which is next year, a lot of things would have been worked on and successfully done.
All right, so when I asked you the question about your honest assessment, yes, I wasn't expecting anything different because I knew the line you were towing. You said the situation has improved. All right, now let's look at critical situations in Nigeria. Before Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over the reins of power, there was severe political tension, especially looking at it before he was ushered into office. We saw the killing that took place in Ondo in a church where 40 worshippers were massacred. We saw the birth of a fraction from Boko Haram, ISWAP. We saw the atrocities they carried out in Abuja, and of course other states like Kaduna, Zamfara, and the rest of them. In your honest assessment, I ask you again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you score a Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
I like that question because, like I said to you, there's a synopsis of what was in the past. That is what you have just highlighted now. Most of the incidents you have highlighted now occurred in the previous administration, not in this administration. That's why I said to you that there's a big departure from what existed and what exists now. When you look at the crisis that we had at that time, you can't drive from Lagos to Abuja. You can't drive from Abuja to Kaduna. It was a big issue because either the train is bombed or you are kidnapped on the road to Kaduna. Now we have bandits that have surrendered in Kaduna State, for instance. So it brings me to the question that what did the previous governor do in Kaduna State? Were you pressurizing the central government, or what did you do for 8 years? It means that you did not actively nip it in the bud. For them to come out now and say they have surrendered in Kaduna State, and we have not had any crisis in Kaduna State for like 2 years now, it means that the present administration has done two things. Negotiation is number one.
With who?
With the bandits.
Oh, the government of the day.
Yes, because when you look
the business of negotiating with bandits.
You have asked me a question. Let me finish. When you look at the Kaduna State government, it called out the bandits and said, enough is enough. Let's stop these things. And most of them came out and tendered all their ammunition. They came out, we saw them in the news, and they said they are not ready to continue this. That's part of negotiation. That's part of the, there's something called conflict resolution. It doesn't have to be by force. Sometimes the kinetic energy does not work. Look at what happened in Bokos. Bokos has been a flashpoint for the past 20 years, even under Obasanjo's regime. There has been a lot of killing. Look at the senseless killing that happened last week. Killing children, killing women. They don't have anything to do with all this. But it's because they have not settled and negotiated and resolved this conflict. You have to discuss. You are neighbors, you are brothers. You cannot continue to have hatred. For as long as there is hatred, there will be a reprisal.
What is the demand of the bandits if the government of the day are to negotiate with them? What is the demand?
For me,
do they have any recognized and identified demand?
For me, they don't.
So what is the negotiation about?
You cannot sometimes use force. Sometimes it doesn't work. Look at Just Plateau issue. They have been at it for 20 years. They have been discussing. Now they are discussing. Even the chief of army staff was there. And what he said was that there will be increase in troops. However, the communities need to go and discuss with themselves. Because hatred will continue to breed hatred. The one that occurred last week is showing that it's going to escalate further. It's not going to reduce. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, it has been revealed now that a lot of foreign interests are involved in this matter. So it's not just about Nigeria.
Now, sir, let's look at this in a wider, put this in perspective. I want to ask you, based on what you have said.
Yes.
You said that what we have now is a far departure from what we had in the past.
Yes, a better
and
situation.
In your own words right now, you just also confirmed that the killings are still ongoing. And talking about foreign interference, it has always been established that there has been foreign interference. It's not just coming today. So
it has always been? No.
No, there has been reports that there are Western influence in what is happening in Nigeria. No, the one you're talking about is the one that the congressman in US talked about. That was one person, and which there has been reports that it could be checked. It may not be entirely true. That is one aside. But if you are saying, and Nigerians are watching, that what we have now is a far departure of what we had in the past, are we talking about a situation whereby let's continue to manage the situation because it is better than in the past, or we're talking about a situation whereby Nigerians should go to bed and sleep with their two eyes closed?
Well, that's an interesting question.
And you just make reference to what happened in Bokos and Benue.
Yes.
And
Now what I'm saying to you is that compared to what it was before, Nigeria is far better.
Nigerians,
Let
are
me
they looking
finish.
for comparison?
You have asked me a question. Wait for me to answer. You can't answer the question, and I'm not here to argue. We're trying to, share thoughts. For a fact, Nigeria is better. We are talking about statistics and indices of violence occurring in parts of Nigeria. When you look at the indices and the statistics, I'm a technician, I'm an economist. So I view it from how many incidents occurred per period of time.
Okay.
You are analyzing for 2 years. That's the question. How do I see this government in 2 years of administration? And so if you are looking from the perspective of time and occurrence of violence, I will tell you for a fact, Nigeria is better and we are improving compared to what it was before. You could, in the past, you see local governments that cannot function. Farmers cannot go to the farm. Do you know why? The reason why they can't go to the farm is because the bandits have stopped them from going to the farm. However, you see some people go to that same location and mine. After mining, they take off the resources of the mining. So my question is, because I'm also a patriot in Nigeria, I'm monitoring this for a long time. I have friends in Gusau. I've been to Sokoto wanting to go to Gusau. From Talata Malafa, by 1 p.m., if you are not careful, you are going to be kidnapped and you are going to be killed. I passed there several times. Okay? Now, you can pass through Talata Malafa at any time of the day. Any time of the day.
You're sure?
I am telling you,
because the governor has been crying.
Yes, because it was. And
the Lakurawa sects have infiltrated.
That the flags were hoisted before. Now you cannot see any local government that has been sacked now. That's a departure. There are still elements of Boko Haram, but most of them, and even the Lakurawa people, most of them have been reduced and neutralized. That's what I can tell you. But you see, Nigerians, we have to look at the facts of the situation in comparison with what we had before.
All right. Now, let me interject you. If you say what we have now is far better from what we had before,
a serious improvement.
Information has it, as at April 1st, 2025, Nigeria was put on red alert, especially from the Canadian government to its citizens and of course the general public, to avoid certain travel locations, which also those at the back end will put it on screen for you to watch. Places like Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Zamfara, Sokoto, due to risk of terrorism. Now, what is your take on that? If you say that in the last 2 years, on the review, situation of things has gotten better, yet travel locations to Nigeria are being avoided.
There's something called sensitization news. You are a journalist, so I for one don't believe in the Western countries, because I have been in politics because of the Western countries, and I've been in this politics because of the past regimes. I entered politics as a young man, resigned my appointment to start politics because of what you have just mentioned. Likes of America, Canada, Britain,
so
France.
Are you discounting that?
It is absolute. Since that time, 1st of April till now, did you hear about any problem in Kaduna? Did you hear about any problem in Maiduguri? Did you hear about a news of bandits in Gusau? There was none. So why would I listen to a man in Canada that will tell me about Nigeria? I'm not going to listen to that. That is their problem. We are here. We don't have any other home. This is our home. What we are saying now is that the military, they are working. compared to what it was before. It's a different thing when you have the Chief of Army Staff in Abuja, okay, and issues are occurring in Gusau. He's there with them. Lagbaja was there with them until he died. Now this one now is being to Bokos. Bokos is Plateau State. It wasn't even mentioned in the red zones of what Canada said. I don't believe in what Canada is saying.
Okay, thank God you said. Okay, finish.
I don't believe in what Canada is saying. There's a lot of propaganda against Nigeria. Okay. Nigeria will develop whether they like it or not.
Definitely.
We will improve whether they like it or not.
Sure.
And things will change whether they like it or not. This government is putting the best he can do in the midst of what has happened and what it met. Let us give a chance to our people. They're gallant soldiers that are dying for us. We can't do it by ourselves. They are there. So we must support them and give them news of encouragement. And stop giving Nigeria a bad name. They are the ones that are involved in I have facts that I can read to you, but time will not allow me for the connection of the foreign influence in Nigeria over so a long period of time. Yes, facts.
But your political leaning is becoming too obvious, and I'm going to put matters here.
My political leaning?
Yes.
I'm not in
because when you talk about disregarding informations, especially from international community,
yes,
I call. Now let's look at facts that you talked about. In Nigeria as we have it today, it's on record that the federal government has succeeded in eliminating, in their words, 8,000 bandits in the last 2 years, whereas we have 30,000.
We have
30,000 bandits.
How do you get the numbers?
It's on record. I'm giving you facts that you are
That's why I'm asking
to.
you a question now. Did you go into the bush to count them to know that?
That is the facts available in the public domain.
Which domain?
You said you want to go with facts.
You see,
now, I just put a fact to you. We have on public domain that the Nigerian government claimed they have been able to eliminate 8,000 bandits.
And counting. Counting.
Yes, if you want to call it counting.
Because they were there to count the bodies.
So how do you score that?
You can't score the number. That's why I asked you, the 30,000 that you brought forward.
Yes.
Where did you get that number?
It's in the public domain.
Which, come on. I'm asking you a point question.
It's in the public domain. You can also verify that fact.
Okay, let's assume that you got it from Instagram.
Not Instagram.
Okay, what domain?
I don't have to tell you. Do your research.
No.
I am giving you facts. Now let's go to the other issue. Let's go to the other issue.
I am a trained psychologist.
Let's talk about.
I have masters in managerial psychology.
Let's talk about.
I am an accountant.
Market.
You have to give me
Let's
statistics.
talk about the food commodity market. If you fail to accept the fact that we have about 30,000 bandits in Nigeria,
no, I'm not going to accept
8,000 have been eliminated. Now let's talk about the food commodity market, which I believe you would also give me your facts about it, because it is believed that when security situation improves, then there would be a whole lot that would improve as byproduct, because where there is security, investment goes there. There will be production, especially when it comes to food. Are you aware of what the current bag of rice is now as against what it was before?
I bought rice. I bought that rice at mile 12. Imported, I bought it at 85,000 last week to do Salah. Okay? And I know that rice was 100 plus in December. So we can say that's an improvement.
109.
109. That's an improvement in price. Okay? The local rice, I got it at 73,000. But there were stones, a little bit of stones in it because it wasn't well deshelled. So that's why I didn't buy it. Okay? So I bought the long one. I go to the market myself. I don't send, my wife does not go to the market. I go because I want to know what the prices are going. Yam in December was 5,000 a tuber. The big tubers, yeah? I saw yam, I didn't buy it in Lagos. I bought it in Ibadan at 1,000.
A big tuber.
A big
and
tuber.
I bought yam as at last week in my 12 for 5,000 naira
That's
a
what
tuber.
I'm telling you now. Depends, you are wearing tie. You probably don't.
I didn't tell you I went to the market with a tie.
I'm telling you, they call me Alaroro in the market.
Just
you know what the meaning of Alaroro?
Somebody who price a lot, right?
Lot, yes.
You price until you
price
get
until I get what I want.
What you want.
And I'm not pricing for myself. I'm pricing for Nigerians. And I lambast them. We fight at the market. I don't care. And when I go to the market, I want to buy onions. I don't buy boats. I buy hand. 40 pieces. And when I want to buy, I compare it to the price in Ibadan. They're telling me I should buy a basket, a bucket of onions at the Mile 12. They said about 14,000. I said no. I did my calculation. I bought last one hand at 6,000 in Ibadan, which is 40 pieces. I told them I'm going to pay 12,000. He agreed to 12,000. I ended up paying at 10,000, and they were massive.
Okay, so that's your power of negotiation.
So that's number one. Number two is that productivity. Let me give you a fact. That's why I asked you, where did you get your own fact of 30,000? I will give you a fact of where I got my own pricing structure now. TVC did a research. That's why I said to you, you also need to do your own research. They went to the north, Kaduna State. They realized that federal government gave fertilizer to Kaduna State in 2023 and 2024 free. They went to the farmers. They actually called 3 farmers alone.
Not everybody, because my father didn't get free fertilizer.
Maybe you are not from Kaduna State.
I am from Kaduna State. My father still lives there.
Well, that
so
means
that.
So they get to selected farmers because we didn't get to my own house.
That's what I'm saying. Let me finish. What I'm saying now, you can confirm it from another television station which I saw, and they interviewed the farmers, not any other person. Farmers who got fertilizer. They now asked them, okay, how was productivity in 2024? They said it was a bumper harvest. How many bags of rice did you make? He said, I made 3,000 bags of rice. How much is that? 350 million. How many bags of beans? One person being asked, how many bags of beans did you harvest? He said, I harvested 4,000 bags of beans. How much is that? 450 million. How many bags of maize did you harvest? He said, I harvested 10,000 bags of maize. That's 850 million. The man was looking at him. So you are a billionaire. A farmer that has no name, that is not known to even in his local government, has become a billionaire based on support of federal government. That's a feat.
That's 2020. You said 2023?
2024.
Oh, I thought you said 2023.
2024.
Okay.
Analyzing 2 years. You are analyzing 2 years. Okay?
That's one farmer.
That's one farmer. Then he said to him, the Otitoju man, his name is Otitoju. Okay,
the farmer. Okay,
TVC reporter.
The reporter, yes.
That went to go and check what's going on. Now called, he said, my colleagues here, all of us have made so much money. My own is even small compared to other people. He said, ha. So you mean that farming is this good? In 1 year you can be a billionaire?
You're just talking about
which area is that in Kaduna?
State.
Because I know that there are places in Kaduna that people cannot even go to farm. Even as I speak to you now, that people cannot even go to their farmlands. So where is it in Kaduna that you went to? Was it Kachia that is within the almost?
It's a known place now. Oh. Is it? I remember they mentioned some places. Maybe it's close to Saminaka or what?
Oh, that's it. That is close to town.
They're making
because the people in the remote areas, they find it difficult to go to farms. That's why
I'm telling you that things have changed in Kaduna State. Maybe you haven't been home in a long time.
That is my state.
If they are now giving us facts that
Kaduna is a very big place.
Gentlemen, we will have to come back.
Now, sir, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you a question. Let me just ask. I wanted to ask you a question. When my colleague here talked about the Canadian advisory, listen to their people in Nigeria, you said we should discountenance that, that it is nothing. But you were quick to believe a congressman in US that said they've been using the money to influence
I don't want to be on air to tell you where I work.
You were quick to believe
that. That's what I want to tell you now. Let me analyze it for you.
You're not being fair.
Because you want to believe what you want to believe.
Let me quickly answer you quickly so that you understand. I worked with federal government. I resigned my appointment under Obasanjo to contest election. Why? Because I have facts. I have files. If not because the El Rufai in Abuja then sold out most of federal government properties and my properties were destroyed, I will bring files to you to see what I'm telling you about. I'm not talking stories. This is my own life. I spent 20 years of my life.
So you chose to believe what you want to believe?
No! The fact of the situation is that there was a film that triggered my brain, Hollywood film, in 2001. It's called Tears of the Sun. Bruce Willis.
The kidnapping has not started in Nigeria when they did that.
Mr. Said Ajadi, we will not have much time. We will have to come back again to have this discussion.
I'm waiting for you.
No problem. Thank you so much.
I love Nigeria and I'm a patriotic Nigerian.
We also love Nigeria.
So let us face the reality. This is the fact of the situation.
But you just accept what you want to believe.
No, the truth is that we have to help the Nigerian government and help Nigerians. The pleasure is mine always.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Well, these are offering for you this morning. Thank you so much for watching. But of course, the program still continues as we'll be handing you over to our Benin Network studios for the rest of the program.